Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. So I like to make videos on my channel talking about my adventures here in Germany, the good, the bad, everything in between. I do not hold back. A topic I particularly love to talk about is parenting in Germany. I'm a mum of three. All three of my children were born and so far raised here in Germany, and I am just so fascinated with the German parenting style and how it differs to the New Zealand parenting style. I've mentioned before that New Zealand parents and German parents share very similar core values when it comes to raising their children, but I definitely noticed a lot of differences. In this video I want to talk about some of the little sort of subtle aspects of raising kids in Germany, and I'm going to be focusing on some very German things that German parents do. Does that even make sense? It does to me. And I just want to make it very clear, I'm not implying that every German parent does these things, but I have to say that I have seen a lot of German parents doing these things. So with that cleared up, something I have noticed many German parents do is spend quite a lot of money on their children's clothes and shoes and protective weather gear. In general, German parents spend a lot more money on these types of items than New Zealand parents. This is not for superficial reasons. German parents are not trying to turn their little kids into mini supermodels. That's like the opposite of what they're trying to do. This is more for practicality reasons. I've talked about the fact that many Germans really value quality and they are prepared to pay for it. They would take quality over quantity any day, and they do not mind spending a decent amount of money on their clothes and their children's clothes. Not saying all Germans do this, but many Germans are prepared to spend quite a bit on their children's clothes. So I'm talking about them buying really good quality winter boots for their children, and shoes, and nice leather sandals, and you know, the protective weather gear. It usually has to be by a German brand, and they really care about what brand their children are wearing, not because these brands make the children look really fashionable. It's more because they are super practical, and you know, German brands are well known for being good quality, and that's what German parents go for. German parents think about things like practicality and comfort, and whether this particular pair of shoes will support their child's growing feet. Most New Zealand parents are not prepared to spend a lot of money on their children's shoes and gear and things like that, because they just think they're going to be growing out of these anyway in a few months. It's just a waste of money. But I feel like German parents have a much different attitude. German parents are very thrifty and smart in the way that if they don't buy new items for their children, they will look for really good quality secondhand items that have barely been worn. There are lots of children's clothing markets here in Germany. There are websites where you can buy barely worn, really good quality secondhand items, and a lot of German parents do buy secondhand items, but there are a lot of parents that buy brand new items, so they will be happy to spend, you know, up to 70 euros on a pair of boots for their child that are only going to last a couple of months and then they'll grow out of them. But something that German parents do is they will resell these items, and I think German parents are very good at reselling. You know, if you invest in a good brand, the item is going to be better quality, it'll last for longer, it'll hold up, you can resell it and earn a little bit from that. And they also think about things like whether they are going to be able to pass these items on to younger siblings. So they think about the big picture, which makes total sense actually. And there is a saying that cheap can be expensive, or it's something along those lines, which is really true. If you don't look at the bigger picture, you can buy a lot of really cheap clothing items and they'll last, you know, a couple of months and then you have to throw them out. But if you invest in good quality items, then they are going to last and you can pass them down or resell them. Okay, so another very German thing that German parents do is on the topic of gift giving. And since living in Germany, the word gift amuses me because the German translation of gift is poison. Just so there's no confusion, I'm not talking about poison, I'm talking about gifts as in presents. So when it comes to giving a child a gift, particularly for their birthday, German parents are very specific about what that gift should be. So for example, recently Matteo had a birthday party and we invited 6 of his friends, and there were 5 German kids and 1 half German, half Kiwi kid. So I have a friend from New Zealand and her son is friends with Matteo. But anyway, we sent out party invitations to all of the kids and their parents contacted either myself or Rob. Every single one of the German parents asked me exactly what Matteo wanted for his birthday. And I was familiar with this because, you know, this had happened with Amelia. This was just sort of something I expected to be asked. I usually give them a little bit of an idea of my child's interests and the type of present they may like, and I always say whatever you give them will be wonderful. And it's never enough, they always want to know exactly what to buy. They'll sometimes send photos and Amazon links and ask whether Matteo would like this, and basically you have to choose the present that they will be giving your child, which to me it was a little bit weird at first. I was thinking, but that sort of defeats the purpose of gift giving, because in New Zealand, you know, you may give them a little bit of an idea of what your child would like, but you don't actually choose the present for them. I'm not saying that all German parents do this, but most of them do when it comes to birthday parties, and also when your child is invited to their child's birthday party. I always ask what they would like for their birthday because I know that that's sort of something that is, you know, commonly done here in Germany. And so when I ask, I usually get very specific answers, like my child would like this particular Lego set. It does make it really easy, and normally the things that the parents suggest are usually very reasonably priced and most of the time actually below what I would normally spend on a birthday present. But it does kind of take the fun out of gift giving. Also, there is one boy, one of Matteo's friends, he has been to his party 2 years in a row, and when I asked the question, what does, you know, this particular boy want for his birthday, his mum actually said to me that she has already bought the present and I just have to pay her. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that definitely makes it easy for me, but it was a little bit disappointing, to be honest. And she did this 2 years in a row. So basically she bought the present that he wanted, I just gave her the money, and she came around to my house and gave it to me and I wrapped it up, and Matteo gave the present to him. I don't know how common this is, whether this is like a German thing or this is just something this lady does, but I found it kind of unusual. Like it didn't, you know, it didn't matter at all, it was fine, and he was really happy with the present and everything, but I was just like, oh, okay. When I really think about it, it makes total sense because that child is getting exactly what they want, you're not wasting your money, and vice versa. Okay guys, so last but not least, another very German thing that German parents do has to do with Carnival, or Fasching as we call it in the area of Germany where I live, Lower Franconia. So I'm not going to go into the specifics of Fasching or Carnival because there is so much to cover. There is like a huge history behind it all. It's basically just a big festival and an opportunity for everybody to break free from the winter rut, and it's kind of like to scare off the winter, and it is absolutely bonkers. Like, that is the only word to describe it. Basically it's a week of parties and festivals and parades, and everyone gets dressed up and they let loose, and it's just so funny. German parents just go all out with it. I am never prepared. I'm always taken off guard whenever Fasching comes around because I forget what a big deal it is in Germany. We don't celebrate Fasching in New Zealand. So many German parents will prepare their children's costumes for months leading up to Fasching, and some of these costumes are just amazing and they just go all out. And because the parents have grown up in Germany and they've celebrated Fasching or Carnival as children, they will hold on to their costumes and pass them down to their children. So German kids usually have a huge collection of crazy costumes costumes to wear during this week, and I am never prepared. My poor kids in kindergarten, like Amelia's kindergarten, the kids were allowed to dress up for that whole week, and in Mateo's kindergarten I think it was 3 days of dressing up. No, it was 2 days of dressing up, and Mateo just wore this pirate costume that he wore last year. He wore a Star Wars costume on the other day, but you know, he thought he looked pretty cool. But then we turned up to kindergarten and the children were just dressed to the nines with their face painted, and the costumes were amazing. And so German parents, they really have a lot of fun with fishing, and they go all out, and you know, their child would have a different costume every single day of the week, and it's never the same as last year, and it's almost like a little bit of a competition whose costumes are more impressive, and it's basically just a whole lot of fun, and it's pretty hilarious. So anyway guys, I have come to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you are a German parent watching this, do you agree with some of the things that I've talked about? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!